Most days, we all go about our lives rarely thinking about how or why our surrounding environment looks or functions the way it does. The truth is, there are more cost-effective ways to develop our communities that ensure the health of our landscape. This series will focus on best management practices for dealing with stormwater. Welcome to Oaks, Pennsylvania, and the headquarters of SEI Investments. I'm Deborah Seif, and today we're going to take a look at a vegetated swale. Slowing down stormwater runoff and filtering pollutants is our goal with best management practices. The vegetated swale does just that. As you can see, we're surrounded by development, and this swale uses a variety of techniques to manage the stormwater. Walking us through the site is Michael Gladnick, who is the landscape architect and civil engineer of this gorgeous campus. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Deborah.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
So tell me about this vegetated swale.
Vegetated swale is a overland conveyance that is used instead of more man-made structures like pipes or channels constructed out of hard surface materials, to convey the stormwater from one point to another, to make use of infiltration, where we let the water go back into the soil and recharge the aquifer, and to slow down the water to increase the amount of time it takes the stormwater to get from one point to another on the site.
I understand that we are at a section of the swale, is that correct?
Right. This swale is the main stormwater conveyance for this site. It makes use of the natural grades that existed prior to the development here, and we go in a series of swales that step their way down the site, going from the top of the site, which is about 100 feet above the bottom of the site, to carry that water overland through each of the different sections.
So why don't we start at the top? Let's
Okay.
go look at the first plateau.
Great.
Is this the beginning of the swale?
Yes, this is the beginning of the grassed swale in the center of the project. There's development above this, but all of that stormwater is conveyed to this point and run across land through this swale to the lower portion of the site.
I can see that this is a little bit indented up here. Is that what an actual swale is?
Right. A swale is a landform that is made out of the earth that's used to convey stormwater from one place to another. This swale was existing before we developed the site. It's a naturally occurring swale, and we made use of this swale in designing the project.
If it was only up to you, what would this part of the swale look like?
Well, the heavier or the thicker the grass, the more retardants we get for stormwater moving through quickly. So this was originally designed with heavy grasses and wildflowers. It still functions as a vegetated swale. Our preference would have been that it would have been in the heavier grasses.
So is this sort of a compromise that you make when you decide to take part of a land and make it into a swale?
Yes, it's trying to read the ultimate user of the property and their aesthetic taste as regards the landscape, and the mowed lawn here seems to fit them a little better.
Michael, this looks like it's been here for a while. It looks sort of like a more natural part of the swale. Is this where the water comes down?
This is where the water comes down from the upper plateau to the middle plateau, which is where we are right now. This was an existing rock cut in the embankment, and we made use of this rock cut to convey the water from the upper plateau, which is about 15 feet higher than where we're standing right now. This area of the site is more man-made, and it's sort of a break between the natural swale above and the grass swale below.
Michael, would you consider this the most important part of the swale?
Yes, this section here has the longest length at the flattest grade, which does a lot of things for the stormwater management. It slows the water down, so we have the least amount of erosion. It has the most amount of time for the water to get through this section, so we increase the infiltration and we increase the amount of particles that are being conveyed by the stormwater dropping out as we go along.
So this is the flattest part of the swale?
Right, we're at 0.5% in grade or less through this section, and that's what you want to have happen wherever you can, is to have the swale as flat along its longitudinal section so that we get all of the benefits out of the swale.
I guess we're coming up on the end of the swale here.
Yep, this is the end. At this point, the water drops from the swale into the biofilter, which is another management technique that we use to, again, slow the water and take the pollutants out of the water before it gets into to the pond.
Now these are pretty. Is this what you would normally see in a vegetated swale?
Well, this is ornamental grasses. They are functioning here. They do the job. Typically, we would probably introduce a more native vegetation, making use of switchgrass and blue flag and yellow flag and some blue stem. Those plants we would seed. These were planted as individual plants from a pot.
It's important to note that this site was built with the cooperation of the developer, the designers, and the municipality. It was further modified to suit the users of this workplace. And what about maintaining a swale of this magnitude?
The swale, once it's installed and established with vegetation and or stone bottom, it sort of runs on its own for you, and short of, if you decide to mow it as they have here, the cost of maintaining is minimal.
Is this method of managing stormwater cost effective?
Yes, the other way to convey the water is by use of pipes. The overland flow through a swale eliminates the cost of the pipes, so it becomes a more effective way of conveying water in terms of cost.
Thank you to Michael Gladnick for his information on the vegetated swale. And what a terrific design. This is a perfect example of modern development combined with best management practices. Be sure to watch the rest of our series on ways to control pollutants in our water. Won't you? For more information, go to our website at www.greenworks.tv/stormwater. Or call the Perkiomen Watershed Conservancy or the environmental planners at the Montgomery County Planning Commission.